Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of What the Health Just Happened, where we talk about all things healthcare, the good, the bad, the ups and downs, the lefts, the rights, and everything in between. We also bring on a variety of business owners, business leaders, community advocates, to talk about all things healthy versus unhealthy in business and life. Today's going to be a little weird, right?
Is it?
But fun.
I think it's going to be fun and weird. Yeah, both.
Okay, so Trey, who's typically behind the cameras, chimes in on the radio show. We're in the 212 Benefits office. That's who sponsors the show. Thank you, 212 Benefits. Adrienne Jansen's over there off the cameras, too. She may chime in. We're going to switch it up a little bit.
We are.
Location,
but can we address the elephant in the room? It's your freaking birthday.
Oh, dude, stop.
Happy birthday to Eric.
Happy birthday. No, me. No, I don't. It's weird. I don't know if you feel the same way when it's your birthday. I don't like the attention.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I say today I think happened for a reason, because one, we were supposed to film yesterday. It ended up being moved today, and it's your birthday. And
Yeah, but this is live on the radio on Saturdays.
who cares?
It's not live. I love saying that every time.
I love that you always address that.
Yeah. I think we're gonna talk about the show, the business. You're gonna ask me questions, but let's acknowledge another elephant in the room. So Cox Media, the show airs on 104.5 WOKV on 7 p.m.s, and we repurpose it on a podcast. Now we're trying to play in social media, which is not my specialty. Everyone, we pay for the show. We roll into the studio. We have great guests, love it. But everyone who does it pretends that they're live.
Yes.
I'm like, this is not live.
I think you admitting that it's not live loosens everything up.
Yeah, the guests.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the show. You're just gonna pump me
I'm
with
gonna
questions?
take it from here, because I'm
nervous.
When we were discussing this episode, I thought it'd be a unique chance to talk a little bit more about you, because I guess I've shot maybe 15 episodes with you so far.
So we started, I do want to talk about the show, again, you'll ask the questions. We started January of 23. What year are we in? 2024, right?
Yes.
So when we started the show, we had this idea and concept, and we knew it's like, let's do it for a couple weeks and months, figure it out, get a cadence down. And then I know you had moved back from DC.
Sure.
I reached out to you. I said, hey, this is what I'm doing. You said, bro, let me bring my cameras in there and see what happens. We did one episode, and I'm like, Adrienne, Joey, we got to figure out a way to get Trey, which now you're part of the team, whether you want to.
I know. Hey, I got to cut you off there, because I got to meet all of your staff, and there's 15 of you guys?
Oh,
Yes.
well, actually, 16.
No. The joke is 15 and a half.
15.5.
I've defaulto become a half employee for you guys.
Yeah, Trey will be 16, I think, eventually, but for now it's 15.5.
Yeah, and I really like it. And that kind of one thing, bringing up your team, I got to go to y'all's staff retreat recently, meet all the team, and it was just really refreshing meeting all you guys, because obviously I get the laughs, I get to see the side of 212 from your kind of view. But it was the first time I got to meet Gail and some of the other folks that have been there, and wide variety of ages, faces, diversity, and it was a good time. And then we also got to cut loose quite a bit as well.
Yes, I like that you bring that up. 212 Benefits, what do? We do employee benefits for small to medium-sized businesses. Very exciting stuff. Everyone loves to talk about health insurance. We have this unofficial motto: health insurance sucks. We try to make it suck less.
I like
Less
that.
or less?
Less.
I said less. I meant less. And then another one, too. I don't know if we're watching timing, if I could say this. The other one is kicking ass for the middle class. But what do we?
I like that.
We do.
I really like that.
Employee benefits. Back to the company retreat too, just to kind of talk about the business, because we're going to take all the free plugs we can. 212 Benefits. Whoop, whoop. So we introduce other people, right? We talked about this. If someone asks Adrienne what she does, she can't answer it. Me or Joey has to answer it.
Yeah.
Is Gail who you sat with?
I did sit with Gail. Should I give Gail's test what she does?
Can you intro her? And again, maybe Gail will listen to this. I don't know.
I'll do my best. I had just met Gail. Gail has been with the company, whether it was 212 Benefits or I think even
Benefit Advisors.
Benefit Advisors. Yeah. She's been with you guys for 31 years. She's from Ocala. She has 2 sons that are 34 and 36, I think. And I guess one of the questions you guys had is what do you like about the industry and what do you not like? Yep. And Gail's kind of testimony in regards to what she liked was helping people.
Yep.
And we kind of connected because I have MediShare, which is a little bit of a different health provider. So it was kind of unique to kind of get her perspective and how she would approach helping someone like myself.
Yeah.
So that was the plus side of the industry. Downside of the industry is just the cost and kind of how, because being in there for 31 years, you've seen it go from one phase to the next phase. And so it was cool to get to talk to her.
Yeah, you joining us was awesome. You
it was
doing the
awesome,
show is
dude.
awesome. But again, going back to that, anyone who works in this industry probably has a love-hate relationship with it.
I think that's the vibe that I picked up when you guys were talking about your kind of testimonies of what you like and don't like.
And most people's answer was typically the same. Why are you in this? You love to work with people, help people in businesses. You can't work in this industry if you don't genuinely want to help people because it's complicated, it's
I believe that.
expensive. And then what are the frustrations? The industry. This like I
Yeah.
hate I mean,
That's pretty universal for about every interview we've done.
yeah. So
So you
again,
guys are here to fix that.
That's right. We're going to change the world.
Which, could you talk about the thing that you were just coming from in Miami? Because I know I've asked you like some of the things and stuff you guys do, people that
Outside
are
of
innovating
here.
in the industry. Can we
Yeah, I
elaborate
love
at all?
this is a free plug to True Network Advisors. It's a group. There's other groups out there. I won't name them because they're garbage. Don't judge me. I'm kidding. Maybe edit that out.
Straight up trash.
So we pay money. 212 Benefits pays money to be part of True Network Advisors. It is what 82 agencies now. 85 agencies across the U.S. that are very similar to ours. Size, clientele they work, but the biggest thing is, everyone uses the term, you want to change the status quo, you want to flip the industry on its head. True Network Advisors is 85 agencies that collaborate. I mean, some of the best people in the business I get to sit down to and pick their brain. They're asking me stuff about videos and content. I'm like, we're just talking in front of a microphone. But the group itself, so you have CEO Scott Smith, you have programs, events, Chris Talley, Joel Tillerson. These are incredible people. Britt Burns does the creative stuff. Again, we're going to put you in touch with him. You guys will hit it off. Who am I missing? Val, who does a variety of everything.
She does programs and events that are not the in-person events. So all the off-cycle training that we do, that's like all the virtual training and different speakers and educational series, she coordinates all of that.
We're basically doing a free ad for True Network, by the way. And then you have, I guess is Scotty P COO now, Chief Operations Officer?
Yep.
Again, these people create these events. You ask, like, do you guys ever have events in this industry that aren't stuffy and everyone's not wearing suits and ties and talking insurance and stop loss and et cetera? And we talk about that stuff. But this event was in South Florida just a couple days ago. My voice is still shot from karaoke and all that stuff. But that's it. I mean, you're in a room with thought leaders, funny people, very serious people, great public speakers where everyone in the room, whether you're in insurance or not, are on the edge of their seats, like taking notes. This is just good stuff. So shout out to the True Crew. We drink
True Crew. I
the
like
True
that.
Crew. That's what I call them. I also say, once you go to one event, you'll have officially drank the True-Lade. So I want to make custom socks to say. So we drank the True-Lade. We're ride or die true. But
Well, all right. So I love hearing all that, and it's funny hear you talking about karaokeing because I guess when meeting your staff, I got to hear some of the stories about you. But people really wanted my take on you because I know you from like a past life, of college days.
totally normal and calm and straight A's in college and.
But none of
Not
that.
true.
Neither of
Not
us.
true.
None of that.
Yeah.
But it's funny to now see the evolution of when I knew you in college to now as like businessman Eric. It kind of like puts a smile on my face because it's just like we were knuckleheads, but now we've like transitioned to being fathers, business owners, all this kind of stuff. Which one thing I kind of talked to Adrian about is I want to know more about your past and how you kind of got to where you're at. I know you from college days, but then I kind of disappeared for a while, went up to DC. So there's like a 12-year period of Eric in fraternity to now where you're at. Could you maybe like, I want to know where it all started. Like what was the first job out of college? Then kind of like where did we go from there to end up where we're at now?
Yeah, we'll start in, I guess, grew up in South Florida, Boca Raton. I moved here in 2001 to go to the University of North Florida. Swoop every time. We got to. We are like ride or die swoop also.
Honestly, it's starting to catch
I've
on.
said ride or die a lot already. That's not.
Maybe we'll have to clip that.
Yeah, repeat it over and
Swoop,
over.
clip,
Is there
ride
a
or die.
thesaurus over there?
So came to UNF in 2001, and if I'm being honest, the first 2 years of college were a complete waste of time. I might have passed 2 classes. But I wanted to go to college to get the experience, and even leaving high school, I knew like, man, I think I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a firefighter. It's just a cool job as a kid. Some people are like, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up. I just thought of that. One of my close friends, shout out to Kevin Cherubin, he
Shout
did
out.
it. So UNF bounced between majors, didn't care what I was getting. I ended up graduating with major in criminal justice and a minor in psychology. Haven't used either of them in any capacity. The second I finished the University of North Florida, I went to EMT school, so emergency medical technician. That's like the entry level of a first responder. Immediately following that, I went to the Florida State Fire Academy. It's based in Ocala, so it's 3 months. You live in the dorms, 10-hour days, classes, running in buildings, learning books.
Wow.
Other fire academy programs can take up to 2 years because you're going night classes or Saturdays and Sundays over.
This is like a fast track.
It is a fast.
Okay.
It's like an intense fast track, and it's the state college. I'm like, this will open doors for me to get hired. Finished the fire academy. Again, I don't know what year it was. I don't know what year it is now.
Don't worry about years.
Once you have kids, it all blurs together, right? So fire academy, and then I started applying to jobs. And at the time, again, I don't know what year it was, a lot of places were on hiring freezes. Just the funds that they were changing pensions within the industry. All this stuff was changing. And you got to think it's just like nursing school, other programs. They are kicking out so many firefighters. In the state of Florida, there's like 110 fire academies.
Oh, wow.
And they're putting out 30 to 50 students per class. And it's a revenue stream.
Sure.
So you have so much supply of certified firefighters and so little demand for departments. So I applied St. Johns County, JFRD, all over the West Coast, Boca Raton, Florida, where I was at. Simultaneously, I went to paramedic school. That's the other thing. Everyone I talked to was like, you have to get your paramedic license if you want to get in the door. Went to paramedic school, much more complicated clinical stuff. You're passing medications, you're intubating patients, they teach you how to give someone a trach, like cut open a throat.
Sure.
Yeah, we did it on an actual human. Alive. No, I'm kidding. I made that up. That's completely false.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, tell me more.
Again, so that was cool. After that, I got hired with Marion County Fire Rescue.
Where's Marion County?
Ocala.
Oh, okay.
So we have our corporate headquarters. Well, initially our corporate headquarters for 212 was Ocala. I lived in Atlantic Beach, and I commuted to Ocala every third day for too many years.
Whoa.
2 hours every third day. I'd get up at 5 a.m., had my routine. I'd get to the station at 7:30. Shift starts at 8. I'd make breakfast for the shift, drink coffee.
Is this a single Eric at the time, or?
So we were not married. Like I got married while I was at the fire department.
Gotcha.
So I had met my wife, Stephanie, and we were serious. But again, thank God I wasn't single because I'd probably still be a firefighter in Marion County. So I worked there. The commute, everyone asks, why'd you leave? What changed? Well, life changed, right?
Sure.
And again, I didn't, at the time, you don't think money matters. I made $12.50 an hour on the back of an ambulance. I made more money bartending in college than that. So what happened is I would rotate shifts. Like one shift I'm on the engine, the fire truck. That's your, you still go to every medical call, but you're cutting cars up, you're putting fires out. The other shift I'd be on the ambulance or the box, the rescue, whatever term you use. You'd rotate, like one call, a guy's driving, I'm the main medic, so I'm in the back for a patient. The next call, I'm driving, he's in the back.
Okay.
Fell in love with that side. You're in the back of an ambulance, some serious, some not. You're saving lives, you're losing, I loved it.
Camaraderie too, I'm sure, with the boys.
The camaraderie, again, free shout outs. So Lieutenant Lilly, we called him Booger. I got to send him this clip. This is my lieutenant. I haven't talked to him in years. I need to reach out to him. Michael Trapp, called him Trap Nasty. Craig Eustick. Every time he'd say something, we'd all say, "Shut up, Craig." You ever see the movie Friday?
Yes.
Jimmy James Charles and Justin Goodlet. We had a crew. I mean, we were playing basketball and football.
Sure.
It was incredible. But funny part is, I think all those guys have moved on except for Booger and Craig. Craig's probably retired now. Doesn't matter. Shout out. Love you guys. Camaraderie was great. So when I told him I was leaving, it was hard, but I just knew it was time to go.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, what can I do to open more doors? And it was to go to nursing school. So they had a bridge program at Florida State College at Jacksonville. I don't know what their mascot is. I'm not going to.
God, I don't know, yeah.
Swoop.
Swoop.
So got my nursing license from there. That's like almost a 2-year program, the bridge program. Since I was a medic, I had experience in like the pharmacology side. All that stuff I already knew. You kind of have an advantage. Immediately after that, I'm working in Baptist downtown in the ER. I got called by some healthcare entrepreneurs. 2 guys, Ryan McClellan. I like giving specific names because these people like really impacted and changed my life.
Shout out Ryan.
And Reed Gray. So my wife was his nanny for years when we met.
Oh, cool.
Very, very successful entrepreneurs in the healthcare space specifically. They had DME companies, Medicare companies, a wide variety of businesses that just did really well. And they're probably still doing it. I need to reach out to you both. They called and said, "Hey, aren't you a nurse?" I'm like, I mean, kind of. I just got my nursing license.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We want to open a business and we need a nurse to tie to it." And I'm thinking, okay, I'll come talk to you guys. And the first thing I asked them, like, what do I wear? All I have is like scrubs and bunker gear. like, well, maybe, get a suit for at least the interview.
Sure.
I sat down with Ryan, I'd met him, been to Reed's wedding, et cetera, Reed. And then Aaron Novak, another guy that had a kind of a big influence on my professional life, sat down, interviewed. I think it went really well. Obviously, they offered me the job.
There you go.
What I did, that one was HealthBridge. It doesn't exist anymore. Another one's Acuity. Long story short, they said, like, we're going to give you an MBA on the streets. We're going to teach you how to run a business, to hire people, sell, fire. When they said, the first time they said, let's look at the P&L.
You're like,
I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In the back of my mind, I'm like, what the hell is a P&L statement?
What is it?
And then profit and loss statement.
Okay, there we go.
Did you know what that was?
No, honestly, I didn't.
If you don't work
just
in
being
business,
honest.
Yeah, balance sheet,
and I run a business.
Yeah.
this is the journey.
Thank God for my wife.
Exactly. So, and again, just drinking out of a fire hose, metaphorically, that's interesting that I was a firefighter. They taught me everything about business. Another story I love, me and two people started this one, and they had already had another company that did the same thing, but they were trying to replicate it to like simultaneously grow both.
Sure.
And I'll kind of explain what we did. This is all getting to 212, I promise. 2 weeks onto the job, there's like inbound emails from Humana, Florida Blue, nurses, all this stuff. And at the bottom of everyone's email, there's like a picture and a line and contact information. And after 2 weeks, I finally go to this guy next to me. I'm like, dude, what are these things at the bottom of the email? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, look at everyone's email. He goes, those are email signatures, idiot. Do you not have one? I didn't know what an email signature
Eric,
was.
if it makes you feel any better, I had a similar experience when I went up to DC because I'm not a computer guy, tech guy, none of that. So that's hilarious. I got to feel the same.
I was very blue collar. And again, I can always talk about my parents who were very white collar, right? My mom's been a financial advisor for a year. My late brother was a financial advisor. My dad was a sales guy, just whatever. So that company, we grew very, very quickly and just in a unique space. We were case management for frequent flyers in the hospital, COPD, congestive heart failure, diabetics. Like, again, the main comorbidities that people continuously go back to the hospital for. So what we were doing is we were sending nurses and LPNs into the house. There goes the logo,
That's okay.
Adrian. We're good.
We're good. We're rolling.
We would try to go into the house and educate them to stop them from getting readmitted to the hospital. Because
Because cost, right?
Correct. These are patients that are probably 65 and older, almost all of them. Every time they go back in that hospital and do this stuff, the cost of that just continues to rise. Right?
Okay.
So we'll wrap that up. Lost my brother while I was working there. And again, we had grown from 2 people. At one point, we had 35 or 40 of us in an office. We had 500 nurses across 38 states.
Wow.
I mean, it was madness. It was a great experience. But I got a phone call. It was a Monday morning. My dad called, and it's going to be tough not to get choked up, but my brother passed away. He's like, your brother died, basically. So, I was wrecked. I like jello legs walking in. Christian Pruitt was working there at the time.
Whoa, okay.
So I hired Christian
shout
Pruitt.
out.
He left, by the way. I don't blame him. So did I. So Christian drove my car home. Aaron Novak. I was wrecked. I mean, like, just destroyed. Took a couple weeks off. I don't remember. Went back south. I couldn't come back to the office, man. I came in, tried to do it. I was like, I can't even be in this building.
Yeah.
Just emotionally wrecked. And what's funny is at the time I knew like my time there was probably done. So I went to Reed and Ryan and was like, guys, I love you. Also, well, we're getting there. They said, don't leave yet. We're about to open another company in Jacksonville. It's called Family First Home Care. Now it does primarily pediatric home health care, really sick kids, sending in RNs and LPNs into the home to provide around-the-clock care for sick kids.
Okay.
We also wanted to kind of open a private duty home health care. So, again, 65 and older, typically sending CNAs and home health aides into the home. Reed and Ryan sent me to Sarasota to meet another really, really influential person in my life, Carson Barnes and Doug Dravina. They still run Family First Home Care, which is now quadruple the size that it was for me. Similar journey in Jacksonville. So we opened a branch there, started with 2 of us. By the time I left, there were, I think, 10 people in the office. We probably had 100 nurses, simultaneously open an office in, St. Pete, Sarasota, Ocala's open. They're open all over the place. And I had a bunch of different roles.
Sure.
We built a recruiting department. There was a sales component. I was going hospitals door to door. If a nurse called out sick, I would go be like, you know what? I'll go to the house. A CNA, you get a round the clock patient who needs care. If a CNA calls out sick at 7 o'clock for an 8 o'clock shift and they need the next 12 hours, my wife literally wanted to kill me at one point. I'm like, well, someone called out sick. I got to go.
Yeah.
I sat and wipes someone's butt 5 times from 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. Like you just, as an entrepreneur, you just
you just do it.
So Family First Home Care, loved it. Great experience. Same thing. I just knew, like towards the end, I was in the back of a cubicle, and anyone who was there knows, like I literally was in a corner just hammering phones, recruiting nurses, which is great. You're creating jobs. It was special. I just knew it was time. And then for a couple years, this is all going to 212. How much time we got left? I'll wrap it up.
We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. So Adrian and Joey, who were close friends for years, had approached me, I don't know, over a 2-year span, like, come work here, come work at Benefit Advisors. And I'm always like, yeah, whatever. Once I knew that it was kind of coming to an end at Family First, I said, all right, let's grab coffee or lunch or whatever it was. I thought they sold life insurance. I thought they hammered phones, had a boiler room, it was like life insurance. Ask them some questions that are important to me for a business. Who are key employees? How are you paid? How's your culture? All the stuff that I like and care about. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. So they introduced me to the founder at the time. His name was Ray Strickland, one of the most unique characters in the world. Started February 2020.
Yeah, February 23rd was your first day.
February 23rd, 2020. And then I don't know if you know this, but in March of 2020, something happened.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, COVID. That's right.
I know. Wah, wah.
So again, what happens? I'm secretly panicked. Like, holy crap! I'm usually first one in, last one in's first one out.
Sure.
We don't know. I'm sure they're like, holy crap, what's going to happen to the business? But we say it was like such a blessing in disguise for our business, because we knew there was going to be a transition in ownership. Sure. Right? We knew that Ray and Donna were going to transition out. We had an opportunity to just kind of stop all new business, really pour into the clients we have. Because again, if you don't know how we're paid in this industry, it's unique. Residual income, that's a term. If you're an entrepreneur or a business person, like learn about residual income. If you want to go into sales, that's really where you want to live. We just changed everything, literally everything about the business. Our sales practices, our ops practices, our technologies, like everything about the business in the craziest time possible. And then 22 or 21, we rebranded to 212 Benefits.
22, summer of 22.
Summer of 22, which is, again, this is a world.
Wow.
And I'm jabbering here. I'm going to try to wrap it up. That's the story how I got here. You asked, I call myself a self-proclaimed entrepreneur because I just, deep down, I think I've always been an entrepreneur. But man, I haven't it's been great. It's been great.
I'm glad I got to hear that, because I did not know a lot of that. And it sounds like, I think even when I was giving you my testimony of how I got to where I'm at, it sounds like there was a lot of key people that came into your life just over and over and over again. Yeah,
you hear that term, the 5 people you spend the most time with, that's, what's the saying? I'm totally butchering that. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
The 5 people you're around the most is who you're in line with.
It's a reflection of who you are.
I'm always trying to, that's why I love these conversations. That's why we do this show. I want to sit down with people who are smarter. I can learn something. And there's been a lot of people that had a really significant impact on my life.
Well, I have to say, just from being the guy that films you, and this is what I kind of do for a living, that I've been very impressed. Like I said, I know you from a different light, and now seeing you as the professional side, and honestly how knowledgeable you are in the healthcare industry, because I have zero knowledge. So I feel like every time I come do one of these interviews with you, I'm kind of taking a little, like, what would you say, crash course on whatever subject or topic we're talking about. So it's been really cool. And I think one thing that's maybe as an outsider looking into your industry would be your approach seems to be pretty unique. And I feel like people have probably latched onto that, which is probably why success has followed you. Is that a right term? Maybe
it is. Yeah, you got it.
So
we keep looking at Adrian over there, by the way.
You guys are, 2 thumbs up on your vocab.
We've got like 1 more minute. But yeah, dude, just as someone that knows you as a college bro, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Frat bros.
Well, yeah. But we can turn out to be good fathers and businessmen.
That's right. Our group, we say it all the time. If you look at our group of guys, and some of them didn't make it, right? Some of them are still a mess, but the group that we have are good human beings raising good human beings and giving back to our communities and successful businessmen. Again, I don't know how the hell we got here, but we did it.
You did it, man. And we got 1 minute. And the other thing I think we talk about all the time, sorry, I went to look at my clock and left you hanging, would be you're a family man. And I think
ride or die. There's one more for you.
That's one thing I really enjoy about the show, is that you guys are talking about business and you're talking about 212, but you're also kind of incorporating just like life in general.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool to hear the stories, but also kind of be a part of it as well with you.
Cool, man. Should we say that's what the health just happened? You say it.
That's what the health just happened. Oh, that was bad. That was bad.
All right, welcome back to the second half of What the Health Just Happened. If you're catching us on the radio show and want to listen to the first half, you can go to your favorite podcast platform underneath What the Health Just Happened. Today's different, right? We are not different. In the radio studio. We are in 212 Benefits office. That's who sponsors the show. Shout out to 212 Benefits and Adrian Jansen, who's off the camera. We're also swapping it up because my guy Trey here, who's typically behind the cameras, is now on camera asking me questions.
Which I've really enjoyed so far.
Let's get weird, man.
Let's get weird and start, off camera just a minute ago we were talking about, could you talk about the history of how we got to where we're at in regards to this show? And I'd love to hear some of like the Pete the Job Guy story, mainly because I feel like when you interviewed him in the past, that was kind of like, is that how this all started? Yeah.
So What the Health Just Happened. This was like 2 years ago. We wanted to make a podcast in the office, right? And we're coming up with all these ideas. I love the name. It's fun, but it really all stemmed from Pete the Job Guy Langlois. You met him.
Hard work.
Everyone calls him Pete the Job Guy. So we met through Providence School where our kids go. We had a dad's club for a couple years. We met, immediately kind of hit it off. And he called me and said, hey, will you do a 5-minute segment for the show? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, just record something. I thought through some stuff. I said, all right, I'm going to do it's called Common Sense Ain't So Common. And I would record a 5-minute segment of funny business stories of like, this is common sense, but clearly it's not that common.
Can you give me one real quick?
Like one I used was microwaving fish in the office. Like, don't be that guy or girl that microwaves fish in the office. You know better. Or, again, small businesses like, hey, it's common sense. Take the trash out. So it's just really ridiculous stuff. Or don't hook up with your coworker in business hours while your boss is in the office next. Like just ridiculous stuff like that. So at the time, his show was called Hard Worka with Pete the Job Guy. Thick Boston accent. If you don't know Pete the Job Guy, reach out to him. He's incredible at recruiting.
Or listen to the episode with him.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't know what episode number it is. Great, one of my favorites. So he's like, man, I just feel like it's stagnant. Will you come on and co-host the show with me? This is at the same studio. I'm like, heck yeah, why not? So we went in. The way he did it, he would have 8 to 10 very specific questions.
Okay.
So he would ask the guest a question, that guy would answer it, or girl. Then I would ask the next question. It was more scripted, which again was great. Loved it. After a couple months, he got a promotion to CFO or like a big role in his current company. He goes, hey, I gotta take off. I gotta stop doing the show. You run with it. I might have done like 5 episodes of Hard Worka.
Yeah.
So you imagine me butchering the Boston accent.
They're like, get this guy out of here.
And it was cool. It was fun, but I just that's when it sparked that love and joy of doing it. So we stopped, and then instead of hemming and hawing, that's another thing I tell everyone. They ask me like, well, how'd you start? This is what I'm thinking. I'm like, look, the only advice I'll give anyone, if you're thinking about doing anything like this, just freaking do it. Just start. Turn the switch on. It's not going to be perfect. It never will. Nothing in life is. So just do it.
Well, you wouldn't even know because you don't even watch or listen to any of the episodes.
I cannot watch or listen to any episode. I'm here. I'm in it. I enjoy it. So even when I post to LinkedIn and we do some stuff on social now, we're trying to do more of that, which is not my world. Other than LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn. Sharing the clips where my face and voice are on there, it's very weird if you haven't heard yourself speak before.
It is very weird, but I'll give you a sense of relief. I think you're doing pretty well, and
I appreciate
it's getting better and better.
So and again, sat down with business partners Adrian and Joey Jansen. I'll mention them all the time. We talked about this idea, and they're like, yeah, let's do it. So January of 21, we started, knowing full and well, like we're gonna. The first couple episodes where you and rotate her and Joey.
Yeah, it was just
and we're like,
talking about nothing.
And I had some connections in Northeast Florida that I think are pretty well known people, very funny and charismatic. Like Gracie Simendinger was one of the early guests.
Simendinger.
There it is. She's the CEO of Leadership Jacks. Chris Topher, who you just met Health Designs with. I called him and they're like, sure. What's the point? And I'd like try to do it. And we kind of winged it. But everyone left. That's the thing that, again, it's just like fills my bucket up. At the end of each episode, I always ask them, like, did you enjoy yourself? And it was never hesitation. Like, are you kidding me? That was incredible. Yeah. I loved it. It was great. And then you evolve and things change. And you came on and we got the cameras, right? And that changed everything because content is king now. I don't love it, but it's just a reality. So the show, What the Health Just Happened? It really initially was like, we want to be as heavy healthcare as possible. So at least 50% of guests, we want to talk about healthcare.
Okay.
We say the goods, the bads, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the right, and everything in between. Because healthcare is good and bad, left and right, up and down. But there's so many people in health. You got physicians, pharmacologists, home health care, skilled nursing facilities, cardiologists, like name it.
Oh, how about even Kurt that you had on that goes in and does the people's homes? Like, remember the guy
Chris,
that was like
Chris Wilson.
Chris Jones.
No, every call is
Home
avoidable.
assessments. He was good.
Yeah.
Right. So, and again,
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
I didn't either, yeah.
All about the show, there is a bit of a selfish component. I want to sit down in a room with someone that's smarter than me, works in a space maybe I'm not familiar with. Maybe it is a space I am, but I want to talk about it so other people can hear about it. So the selfish component is I want to sit in a room and have these conversations because I love it.
Sure.
I love asking questions. I love talking to people. The other component, so I have like 4 rules. There's 4 rules for the show.
I didn't know we even had rules.
So I haven't, again, I'm not good at social
I didn't either.
These are not strict
Curious.
rules.
This is all new to me.
Curious to hear what they are.
So the first rule, again, which is completely inaccurate today, it's not about me. This show is not about me. Every podcast people do, it's just camera zoomed in on them. Me, talk. And this episode is me, talking.
Per my request. Correct. I thought it would be good to do an episode like this.
I'm all about it. So it's not about me, it's about you. It's about the listener and it's about the guest. So when I tell the guests, like, this is a 48 commercial for you, your business, what you're working on, what you're passionate about, right? And then if I say this, I don't care how many likes and followers you get. It's great if it comes organically, but if one person listens to it and gets one nugget, that's a win.
And I think you've done a good job of people, without even saying that, you've created an environment where I think people feel like that, which is good because I think it's authentic. And then on top of that, one thing that I think that's been really unique is I used to do podcasts for bigger groups and everything was kind of national. And I feel like you guys have honed in regionally.
Northeast. I'm going to get to that.
Yeah, Northeast.
Very specific about that.
Can you
let me finish
strategic? Sorry.
Yeah, let me give you the last 3 rules, and you can ask those too. But the regional thing is really important too.
Yeah.
So rule number 2 is it has to be one of 3 things every episode, preferably all 3, but at least one of these things. 3 string.
Yeah, we'll roll with it.
We got rules. We got sub rules.
Edit that
I don't
out.
know what's going on.
Yeah. Rule number 5. No edits.
Yeah.
So one of 3 things. It has to be educational,
Okay.
entertaining, or fun. Preferably all 3, and a lot of times they are. But if it's only one of those 3 things, it's going to be fun.
Okay.
You get it? So educational,
Oh,
entertaining,
I see what
or
you're saying.
fun.
All right.
Every episode has to be one of those 3 things. If it's only one, fun is it. Rule number 3 is we use this. We could say no number 6s. So true network agents we talked about. Patriots, another thing we're tied to. It's no assholes. If you have an ego, right? If you come on and you just think you're the coolest thing in the world, and it's, don't come on. If you're an a-hole,
Sure.
you're not coming on the show.
Well, we haven't had any so far.
We have not. I think that's important, right? And rule number 4 is that the day that this is no longer fun, like for myself personally, and it's just a burden, shut the lights off.
All right, I gotta
Turn
get
it
up and
down.
go.
Well, this is a blast.
Just kidding.
So that's again the 4 rules that I really try to stick to, and I try to tell guests that. So you'd mentioned the regional thing.
Yeah.
This is very specific to Northeast Florida. Okay, we are based in Jacksonville. Our headquarters is here. A lot of our business, we do benefits for Northeast Florida. So we're trying to talk to nonprofits, community advocates, what's happening in Northeast Florida in healthcare and all those things that matter in the community.
Sure.
And share that information. What's been interesting is now, right, is LinkedIn's the biggest one. I'm getting a couple messages a week. Hey, I want to come on the show. Can I come on the show? And these are people I'd love to have on the show. I'll tell you what, if we ever have a time we can film remotely, yes, but we film in Jacksonville. So if you come to Jacksonville on a Wednesday and can be in a studio at 4, 100% get you on. And I respect that. Like, I get traveling's tough for people. That's another thing about other shows. I don't love that screen to screen conversation. This is just more
This is more intimate.
real. It's just real. So the regional thing is very important. We will have we've had external people, right? We had a couple people from True on. We didn't have cameras yet.
We'll have them back.
Chris Hamilton, like people, again, these are people in our industry and doing stuff that are great, but they were here. And I'm like, yes, I'd love to have you on. So I almost want to name specific names I want to get on the show, but they're outside of the region. Very specific to Northeast Florida. Again, if it grows outside of this region, cool.
Yeah.
So that's the regional thing.
Well, I really like the regional thing because it's every time you have a guest, it's honestly like we all have skin in the game because we're all from the same area. So when, like, even if I don't know about X nonprofit,
Chris Wilson.
or whatever, like I'm kind of like, I'm
Plum
on board,
Series.
baby. You're making our community better. Let's go.
Yeah.
So I kind of, I didn't know that was y'all's strategy in the beginning, and it's kind of been nice to see that that's kind of what's going on. Cause, yeah, man, it hits home.
Yeah.
Especially when we talk about Jags football and things like that.
I do a lot of Jaguars. I think I have a Jaguar shirt on, actually. Yeah, I
Do
sure
you?
do. Yeah.
We've talked about golf, football,
Parenting, dad jokes.
parenting. How about healthy or not healthy? I got one for you.
Let it rip. So I love that somehow is like picked up steam when at this
I think
conference.
that might be the most catchy one, right?
At this conference, there's people like, I got 10 people. I'm like, let's do a quick healthy or not healthy. I love it. It's silly.
Spit one. What was one maybe you asked or they asked?
I'm going to ask Adrian one, healthy or not healthy true conferences.
Oh yeah, they're healthy. Even though there's a bit of a rebound physically, they're emotionally, they're very healthy for your professional and personal well-being.
Okay, Trey, healthy or not healthy podcasts.
Oh, there's too many of them. But you know what? Everyone's got their cup of tea, and I think similar to y'all's approach of doing it locally, I think because it's locally, I really resonated with it. But if it's a national thing, it's going to probably be hard. I don't know. Podcast. Tough question.
It is. Like, there's no. That's the thing about
everybody loves podcasts.
Let's talk
right?
about healthy or not healthy.
I
That's the point. There's no right or wrong answer for a lot of them, right? Like
it is healthy on a car ride. It makes car rides really easy, I think.
Oh, for sure. I love. This is a radio. That's the funniest thing. People are like, I see you're doing a podcast. I'm like, no, we're doing a local radio show that we repurpose as a podcast. But that's the thing about healthy or not healthy. Some are silly. Some are serious. Again, healthy or not healthy. Medical marijuana. There are people out there that are going to say unhealthy. There's a lot of people out there that are going to say healthy.
Yeah, I'm pretty pro.
There's, again, healthy or not healthy, artificial intelligence. Like, I'm thinking of questions you ask. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's that unique thing. What was the one you were going to ask me?
Oh, gosh. Mine had to do with just kids and spending time. It was like healthy or not healthy, like kids over work kind of thing. Because, well, I'd love your answer, and then I've got a response to it.
I'll take this. This is so easy, and this goes back to 212 in our culture. It is incredibly healthy. For me, again, the home healthcare company was called Family First Home Care, but that's a big approach for me, and we try to emphasize that to all of our team.
Sure.
Drop everything you're doing. If your kids need you, go.
Yeah.
Right? If your spouse is sick, do what you got to do.
Well,
right?
hey, your old staff retreat, you had the 3 kids.
I did have to drive back
Solo!
to get the kids. But it should be, I say Ohana over everything. I got all these cheesy isms.
What was it?
Ohana, it means family.
Oh,
so
I like that.
I write Ohana over everything on, like I have stickers everywhere, t-shirts. Eventually I'll get a tattoo because I like tattoos, but healthy. If you pick that family over your work all the time. Look, there's days I was just out of town for 3 days.
Sure.
Like I'm ready to be home. But you know what's the balance? Or say there is no right balance. So that's healthy for me.
Here was the healthy or not healthy that I was going to get at. Moms getting away from their kids for several days at a time while dad takes care of them.
I think that's incredibly healthy and a must. And if you're any dads who hear this and you don't give Mama Bear even an afternoon or like a Saturday, like, hey, you sleep in this morning, I got this, right? 100% healthy. Now, mind you, the house is probably going to be a mess when you get back, and I try to clean it up. But yes, if you don't prioritize your spouse to get away from the kids, then you are not healthy dad.
Like it. Healthy or not healthy boozing.
Oh, dang, bro.
And this one's been asked a gazillion times. I'm on the fence.
So it's funny. I thought of a new question to start asking guests. What's a hidden talent that people may not know about you? I just think that's a unique question. This goes back to boozing. I can drink beer really fast. I'm not proud of it. I'm not bragging. I don't really drink liquor because I drink it fast. And what happens there? It's a recipe for disaster. So the reality is, if I want to be honest with myself, it is unhealthy.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing healthy about it. Do I still do it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like beer. What's that? Who was that judge back in the day? Like, I like beer. I still like beer.
I like
Kavanaugh. It was a.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, whoever hears that clip will know. So the hidden talent. From now on, I'm gonna ask, like, what's a hidden talent you have? And I'm just thinking, I can't
good.
even
think of one.
I know, yeah.
What would yours be?
I don't have a hidden
I've seen
talent.
you kick what was the thing that you're supposed to punch, and I watched you.
I've got a lot of like really
You can
quirky.
ninja kick.
Yeah, ninja kick.
I think I could still land a backflip if you gave me like an hour to practice. Again, I'm not bragging. If you put a pint of beer here and a pint of beer there, I will I will beat 99 out of 100 people in chugging a beer.
I mean, honestly, I consider that a talent.
I mean, do we need to go grab beers right now to prove it?
We can shock. I can shock them. This is so bad.
Yeah, we're going off the rails. But
No, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Keep going. That's another part of the show. If you're not comfortable going off the rails, then don't come on the show.
Oh man,
Can I talk about like ideal future guests? This is important.
Oh no, absolutely.
So again, just a wide variety of previous guests, and I think we find people in Jacksonville that are great. We want to keep it 50% healthcare. What does that look like? If you are a physician, we have a doctor coming on in a couple of weeks that's going to talk about pelvic floor health.
Whoa.
You're going to do
What is that?
Oh man, you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Dr.
See, I told you, I keep learning every time I do one of these
like
episodes.
after women have a baby,
But
their
she's gonna
pelvic
make you-
floor,
she's gonna make you
aka
blush.
lady regions.
Yeah.
Again, apparently I haven't met her yet. I know her significant other. He reached out. I love it. It's something that I'm not familiar with. I was like, can she laugh? Can she?
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I've looked at her content. So anything, the point to the guests, anything in healthcare. If you work in healthcare in any capacity, we want you on the show to share what you're doing, tell stories, laugh it up. Another big component are local nonprofits. So if you are in Northeast Florida and you have a nonprofit that you want to talk about, we want to get you on the show. Within reason, because there are some shady nonprofits out there, and that's just like there are shady businesses out there. I am a man of faith. I believe you're a man of faith. A lot of us are. We've had pastors on, right? If a church has a big event coming on, like Night to Shine's coming up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's a big one.
Well, it's too late, right? I didn't have time to prep for
Yeah.
it. The J Fund is another huge one. These are big
Hey,
nonprofits.
you know
that I
what
like
else
to
is
get
coming
on.
up? Prom series, I think, with Tori Murphy. I think, don't they have one?
Yeah, it's coming up
soon?
in April.
I got to share that video. So nonprofits are a big one, and then the other ones again are business owners, CFOs, CEOs, executive level people that want to talk about their business, and let's talk about healthy versus unhealthy business practices, hiring, firing, culture, P&L state, like all of that overlaps. So when I talk to people that aren't in healthcare, they're like, well, how are we going to make this healthcare related? I'm like, do you trust me,
Yeah,
right?
we'll go there.
We'll make it. It'll be healthy versus unhealthy in business and life. So just to reiterate, when again, it's crazy. It's humbling that people are now reaching out to us. Previous guests, I say, if you know anyone, introduce them to me. Most guests email an intro. Anyone in healthcare, I'm shocked I haven't had a firefighter on the show yet. So if any firefighter shows,
that should be a goal. Then.
I know. You got to find the right one. Anyone, I'm telling you, like I don't care if you want to sit down and talk about what you're working on and passionate about in healthcare, reach out to us. Nonprofits are a big one, and then community leaders and advocates. That's who we want on the show, and that's who we again, Adrian, agree or disagree, we get pretty good feedback from the show.
We do, for sure.
I think the one thing I would request, and I'm going to start doing it with guests, is I'd love for them to actually comment on Apple iTunes in regards to their experience, things of that nature.
That is so. You talk about phases of the show, right? Phase 1.0, 1.5, 2.0. I think we're almost to version 3.0. And a big part of it now, I don't want it to be about followers and likes.
Sure.
If that happens organically, great. So that area, I'm guilty of. Like I wasn't following what the hell just happened on any of them. And someone's like, you gotta follow it. I'm like, okay, sure. We have, again, an Instagram account, a Facebook. But yeah, it would be great. And I love when a guest share, we send them all the clips. Like, this is yours, do with it what you will. When they share those clips, it's, again, it fills my bucket. I'm like, wow, they're proud of that. I think they enjoyed that. So yeah, I don't even know how to comment on an Apple or Spotify podcast.
Yeah, we're on YouTube too, but you don't have.
Oh yeah, YouTube's next also. Trey's got to
The
take that over.
evolution will be YouTube. That's what I'll be promoting for most people that join, is just give us about a week and the full episode will be up there and we'll start clipping it and things of that nature.
I've had past guests ask, and I didn't even know it was out there. Again, I'm guilty. Adrian will tell you, like, there are certain things some of us are good at and bad at. Organization and
Not your
posting
thing.
stuff. Even, again, a lot of people know me from LinkedIn because I put a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. I enjoy that one. All the other ones, I'm oblivious on those platforms. So
Fair enough. But you crush it on LinkedIn. You guys have actually made me a believer in LinkedIn. I
remember
was
early
such a
on,
hater.
he's like, LinkedIn's where it's at, man.
It is, honestly.
If you're in the business space, but
well, if you have a job, you're in the business space in a weird way.
Let me tell you my approach to it. And again, this goes back to the show. There's another line. I've got all these stupid Ericisms. The more popular you get, the least popular you get. So the more you put yourself out there and you put content out, I promise you, there are 100 or 1,000 people throughout the United States that see the stuff I put out and say, this guy's an idiot, or he's...
You think so?
I'm sure it's inevitable.
I only say that because I feel like you're just your own biggest, like you critique yourself more than anyone else, because I feel like I do the same. Even
But when you put yourself out there, I don't politics, religion, parenting. It doesn't anything. If you put yourself out there, there's going to be people on the other side of the fence that just don't agree or think, look at this idiot. What's he talking about? It doesn't matter, right? That's my approach on LinkedIn. I'm not trying to pretend to be someone I'm not. I put a lot of the stuff I put on is ridiculous. Some people say,
I think that's why people like
you need to
so
post
much.
more about healthcare specific stuff, and I can, but I don't want to. And
Honestly, the biggest request are, Eric, where are the kids are photos of your kids?
yeah, that's more
like.
all right, more kid stuff. Okay, got it. Let me write this down.
I mean, I feel like everyone loves kid stuff. Always gets the most engagement.
Yeah, I
Which
did
isn't
post.
even
I did
fair.
post. So again, it's my birthday today.
Yeah, what are you doing for your birthday?
I work today. Then I have kids sports after this, and then I'm going to bed at 9:00 tonight. And then tomorrow
sounds
I'm
like a good
raging like 24-hour party. Yeah, right. I got kids flag football. We might do a dinner. I'm not doing anything, honestly.
Healthy or not healthy, kid sports.
I love team sports. I think every kid needs to play team sports. It teaches you how to win, how to lose, how to work with people you may not like or get along with, how to get constructive feedback. I think team sports should be a requirement for all children. What is not healthy are some parents. It is not healthy. I'm telling you, last weekend we almost got into a fight with the coaches on the other side.
Really?
It was insane. Again, I won't tell the story.
What sport?
Flag football for 3rd and 4th graders. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Youth baseball, soccer, cheer, dance, all of it. The parents are the unhealthy ones. Another thing, and again, maybe because I just don't like, is the frequency of it. If you're playing baseball year round, this is my opinion, mind you, at 4th grade, like you're going to burn the kid out.
Sure. Adrian and I were talking about that
We
earlier.
were just talking about it. Yeah.
And the logistics. I got 3 kids. One has dance, one has Lego club, and one has football. And it's like, oh crap, we only have 2 cars. Thank God for my grandparents. Shout out, Mom. I love you.
Yeah, shout out, Mom. Yeah, I would have to say sports, incredibly healthy. I would attribute kind of my whole like philosophy in life to sports.
Very, very similar.
You ever worked with anybody that didn't play any sports?
Adrian, just raise your hand over there.
Really? None?
I didn't play any sports. No, my parents owned a
My
ballroom.
wife.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I danced, but I wasn't on a team.
Okay.
It was ballroom dancing, so it was just me and my partner.
Yeah, but you train, you step on toes, you messed up that move. You like maybe you don't like the partner you're dancing with, but you adapt and overcome. I would consider that.
Yeah,
I'm-
I guess.
I'm-
I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that.
I don't know. And I'm an only child, man. I got lots of weird issues.
Oh, well, I only think sports are just so key because, and I'm going to only speak for men. Most men that I've met that never played any sports, there was just a very hard disconnect between them and the work environment when it come to like group and team things. They'd never get in the trenches with you. Maybe that's a bad example.
Last point. I know we got to wrap it up too, and if we want to keep recording afterwards, we can. But for the
could.
radio purpose, we could wrap it up. You said it. Again, I get it if you don't want to play sports. Why I like it, if you go play soccer and you suck at soccer, guess what? There's going to be things in life that you aren't good at, but you go do it anyways.
Yep.
You try, you fail, and you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be in sales because I can't sell a dang thing, right?
Totally.
And you figure out, and you hit growth spurts. You may play soccer for 2 years and realize, I can't kick a ball. Let me try a baseball bat. And then you play baseball and you're an adult. It's just, I think every kid should play team sports for a variety of reasons, including
Health.
failure.
Well, yeah, failure.
Oh, health for sure.
For sure.
We
yeah.
could have an hour-long topic.
Failure is something, yeah. Losing and not getting comfortable with failing, but just understanding.
It is a part of life. It is an inevitable part of life. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do we have? We got like 1 minute. Hit me with it, dude.
Hit me with your best shot.
Oh, you know what I was going to sing? It's
Sorry,
my
that was-
party and I'll cry if
Oh.
I want to. Cry if I want to. Mainly because it's your birthday. No crying, though.
I could cry. I cried this morning on the way in here thinking about my
Okay,
birthday.
hey, real
Okay,
quick.
sorry.
Do you cry more now that you have kids?
I've always been a crier. Like I'm fine with it, but 100%.
Yeah, dude, I find
100%.
myself just losing it. Anything that has to do with kids sometimes, ugh.
Dude, you gonna wrap us up? Or you want me to?
I want you to.
That was weird, right? We swapped it up a little bit, a little unique, but hopefully you listen to this, enjoy it. That's what the health just happened. Got it.
Oh.